Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about relationships. Sometimes the moment you decide to walk away is the moment he realizes just how much you mean to him. See, when you're always available, always giving, always showing up, he gets comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of appreciation. He stops noticing the little things. He stops valuing your presence because he thinks you'll always be there. But when you leave, that's when the lights come on. That's when gratitude kicks in. That's when he realizes, man, I had a queen by my side and I didn't treat her like one. Because distance has a way of speaking louder than words. It forces him to sit with his thoughts, to replay the moments he ignored, to remember the love he took for granted. And suddenly, the things he brushed off become the very things he misses most. You know what's funny about people? They never really see the value of something while it's sitting right in front of them every single day. When you're there, when you're available, when you're constantly showing love, doing little things, answering calls, making time, showing patience, he gets used to it. He starts to see it as normal. And once something feels normal, people stop appreciating it. They stop waking up grateful for it. They stop noticing it because in their mind, it's never going anywhere. That's how most men get when they're comfortable. They confuse your consistency with permanence. He thinks you'll never leave, so he don't try harder. He don't say thank you enough. He don't give you the love back at the level you deserve. But the moment you step away, that's when reality hits him like a brick wall. All of a sudden, the good mornings you used to text, the way you used to check on him, the way you smiled at him when he walked in the room, the way you believed in him when nobody else did, he starts noticing the silence. And silence is loud when you're used to somebody filling it every day. That's when gratitude shows up. That's when he starts realizing, hold up, I had something real. I had something solid. I had somebody who was for me. And now he's sitting there thinking about every little thing you did that he overlooked. And it starts to eat at him. See, distance creates appreciation. When you're not around, he has no choice but to think. He remembers the times he laughed with you. He remembers how you made his house feel like a home. He remembers how your presence changed his energy. And the more he remembers, the more he realizes he was spoiled. He was blessed and he didn't act like it. That's when he starts loving you deeper, not because you stayed, but because you left and gave him a reason to feel your absence. It's not the comfort that makes a man grateful. It's the distance. And that distance is what wakes him up to the truth. He loves you more now because he finally understands what life feels like without you in it. When a man knows you're always there, when he knows you're going to pick up that phone, when he knows you'll ride with him no matter what, something dangerous happens, he gets too comfortable. And comfort is a slow killer in relationships. Because it makes people lazy. See, when he first got you, he was putting in the work. He was showing up. He was proving himself. He was making sure you felt special because in his mind, he had something to win. But once he feels like he already won you, he relaxes. He stops doing the little things that mattered in the beginning. He don't compliment you the same. He don't plan dates the same. He don't put in that energy to remind you how much you mean to him because he thinks you'll always be there. That's complacency. He starts taking you for granted, not because he doesn't care deep down, but because he thinks he's safe. But the problem with that is love can't survive in complacency. You can't love somebody fully if you stop feeding it. And the truth is, when you're too available, too forgiving, too consistent, he starts to forget how valuable that is. He thinks love is automatic, that it's just going to keep flowing whether he puts effort in or not. That's why when you finally pull back, when you finally step away, it shakes him to his core. It reminds him that this wasn't promised. You were a blessing he was supposed to work for, not a comfort zone he was supposed to sit in. And suddenly he realizes how much he slipped. He realizes how many days went by when he could have told you how fine you looked, how much he loved you, how proud he was of you, but instead he said nothing because he thought tomorrow was guaranteed. That comfort made him blind. But the moment you walk away, his eyes open wide because he sees the hole his complacency created. That's when he starts loving you harder, because now he knows he can't afford to take you lightly. Comfort made him lazy, but your absence makes him hungry again. And that hunger, that wake-up call, makes him come back with a deeper love than he ever showed before. When you're with somebody every day, when you're in their face, sharing moments, doing life together, they can't always see the picture clearly because they're too close to it. It's like standing in front of a painting with your nose pressed against the canvas. You can't see the beauty, you can't see the whole design because you're too close. But the moment you step back, suddenly everything becomes clear. That's what absence does in a relationship. When you're there all the time, he don't realize the role you play in his life. You're cooking, you're motivating, you're supporting, you're bringing peace, and to him, that just feels normal. But when you step away, when you're not picking up the phone, when you're not there to talk him through his problems, when your energy is missing from his space, it hits him different. Now he can finally see what you were really bringing to the table. Absence gives him that clarity. It forces him to notice how his days feel empty without your voice. He goes to tell you something funny, but you're not there to laugh. He comes home and the house don't feel the same without your energy. He goes through challenges, and the person who always reminded him he could make it isn't there to give him that push. And suddenly, he sees you weren't just around, you were essential. He starts realizing how many things you held together without ever asking for credit. He starts realizing how much lighter his load felt because you were carrying some of it with him. And it takes you leaving for his vision to clear up enough to understand that. That's why absence is powerful, because it removes the noise, it strips away the routine, and it makes the value of a person crystal clear. A man might think he knows love when he has it every day, but the truth is he learns what love really means when he has to live without it. That clarity is what makes him love you more, because now he understands you were never ordinary, you were never replaceable, you were the difference maker. Absence didn't just make his heart grow fonder, it made his eyes see sharper. A man might like you, he might even love you, but let me tell you something, he will not fully respect you until he knows where your boundaries are. When you let everything slide, when you tolerate everything he does, when you keep forgiving without any change on his part, he starts thinking that's just how it's supposed to be. He thinks he can get away with half effort, with excuses, with not showing up the way you deserve. And the crazy part is it's not always because he's a bad man. It's because he's a man, and men test limits. That's human nature. If you let somebody keep pushing the line, they'll keep on pushing until there is no line. But when you draw that boundary, when you say, this is what I will accept and this is what I will not accept, you instantly shift the energy. You're no longer just the woman who loves him. You become the woman he has to respect, because your boundaries tell him you know your worth. They tell him you're not afraid to walk away if he can't rise up to the standard. And that changes how he looks at you. See, when you leave after setting those boundaries, that's when it really hits. That's when he understands this isn't a game. But he can't just do whatever he wants and expect you to stay. That boundary is a mirror. You're showing him who he really is and whether or not he's willing to grow to keep you. And when a man realizes he lost you because he crossed a line you made clear, that respect gets carved into his soul. He can't forget it because it teaches him something about himself and about you. And here's the beautiful thing, the same boundary that made him lose you is the reason he loves you harder after you're gone. Because deep down, every man respects a woman who respects herself. That strength, that discipline, that courage to say no, that willingness to walk away, it makes him see you in a light he can't ignore. Boundaries don't push love away. They make love stronger because real love grows in respect. And when you showed him yours, you gave him a reason to love you more. A man can act tough. He can act like he's got it all together, like nothing phases him. But the truth is he often doesn't realize the weight of his emotions until he loses something that mattered. While you're there, he can keep playing it cool, keep brushing off your love, keep acting like he doesn't need all that affection you give. But when you leave, When that love is no longer in arm's reach, that's when his emotions come alive. Loss has a way of unlocking feelings he didn't even know he had. Suddenly, he remembers how safe he felt when he was with you, how much your voice calmed him down when life was heavy, how your touch made him feel like everything was going to be all right. While you were around, he took it for granted, but now that you're gone, those emotions hit him with full force. That man who used to act so strong finds himself missing you in the quiet moments, missing you when he's laying down at night, missing you when he's got good news and realizes you're not there to share it. That's when his heart starts talking louder than his pride. See, loss strips away ego. Ego makes a man think he's fine without you, but loss proves he's not. That space you left behind starts to ache, and in that ache, emotions he buried start rising. He might cry, he might replay conversations, he might even get angry at himself for not cherishing you while you were there. But all of it comes from love he didn't fully recognize until it was too late. And that's the thing, sometimes a man doesn't know how much he loves until love isn't sitting right next to him anymore. The emotions were always there, but comfort and pride kept them locked up. It's the loss that turns the key. And once those feelings are unlocked, he can't put them back in the box. He realizes just how deeply he cared, and he starts to understand the difference between liking someone and truly loving them. That's why after you leave, he loves you more because loss woke up his heart, and his heart won't let him forget you. There's something about strength that changes the way a man looks at a woman. While you're there, giving all your love, supporting him, holding him down, he might start thinking that's just who you are, that you'll keep doing it no matter what. But when you decide to walk away, when you show him that your love has limits, that's when your strength shows up. And that strength is powerful because it flips the script. Instead of seeing you as someone who needs him, he starts to realize you're someone who chooses him. And there's a big difference. When you choose to leave, you're saying, I know my value. I'm not afraid to be alone if it means protecting my peace. That kind of confidence is magnetic. A man can't ignore it because deep down, men are drawn to women who know their worth. It's not the weakness that pulls him back, it's the strength. He can find attention anywhere, but what he can't find everywhere is a woman who respects herself enough to say no. That makes him look at you differently. He sees you not just as a partner, but as a force. And the crazy part is, the very thing that made him lose you, his neglect, his complacency, is what makes him crave you more once you're gone. Because he realizes he had someone strong enough to walk away from him. That's rare. See, strength is attractive because it demands respect. You didn't just talk about your worth, you showed it. And men love proof more than promises. When he sees you thriving without him, when he sees you holding yourself together, when he realizes you don't need him to shine, it humbles him. And in that humility, he starts to love you in a way he didn't before, because now he understands you're not an option, you're a prize. That strength makes him replay every moment he underestimated you. It makes him regret every time he thought you'd stay no matter what. And it makes him want you back, not out of pity or guilt, but out of admiration. Because in the end, it's not your weakness that captured his heart, it's your strength.